The ship hit the trees hard. Metal screamed against wood. Hana grabbed her seat as the world spun around her. The emergency lights flashed red, then everything went dark. When she opened her eyes, smoke filled the cabin. Her head hurt. Her ribs ached. But she was alive. She pushed herself up slowly. The ship had torn through the jungle and crashed into a clearing. Through the broken window, she could see tall trees with purple leaves. Strange sounds filled the air. Clicks and whistles, calls that made her skin prickle. This was Cathara 7, a wildlife preserve, home to some of the most dangerous creatures in the galaxy. Hana checked herself for injuries. A cut on her forehead. Bruised ribs. Nothing broken. She was lucky. Very lucky. She grabbed her emergency pack and climbed out of the wreck. The jungle was hot and wet. The air felt thick. She could barely breathe. Her first job was simple. Stay alive. She checked her supplies. Food for 2 weeks. Water filter. Basic medical kit. And her tools. Always her tools. Hana was an engineer. She could fix almost anything. The question was whether she could fix the emergency beacon before something in this jungle decided she looked like dinner. She spent the rest of the day making camp. The ship's cabin was still mostly intact. She sealed the broken windows with plastic sheets, set up a small workspace outside where the light was better. Then she pulled out the emergency beacon and looked at it. The meteor storm had damaged it badly. This would take days to fix, maybe weeks. Night came fast on Cathara 7. The jungle changed when the sun went down. The purple leaves started to glow softly. Beautiful. But the sounds got worse. Howls and roars echoed through the trees. Hana sat inside the cabin with her back against the wall. She held a plasma cutter in one hand. Not much of a weapon, but it was all she had. Then she heard it. A clicking sound, regular, rhythmic, getting closer. Her training kicked in. She knew that sound. Variks, the apex predators of this planet. 6-legged hunters that could tear through metal. They hunted in packs. They were smart. And they were never supposed to get close to humans because humans were prey. The clicking moved around her camp, circling, watching. Hana stayed very still. Her heart pounded so hard she thought it might burst. The clicking stopped right outside her door. She could hear breathing. Heavy. Deep. Then, after what felt like hours, it moved away. She did not sleep that night. Morning brought relief. And work. Hana laid out her tools in the clearing. She spread the beacon parts on a plastic sheet. This would be a long job. The power core was cracked. The antenna was bent. The signal processor was completely fried. She sighed and picked up her wrench. She worked and talked to herself. An old habit. It helped her think. It made her feel less alone. She explained each step out loud as if teaching an invisible student. Remove the damaged core. Clean the connectors. Test each circuit. Her hands moved automatically. This was what she was good at. This was home. By noon, she had made good progress. The heat was terrible. Sweat ran down her face. She reached for her wrench to tighten a bolt. Her hand found nothing. She looked down. The wrench was gone. She looked around. Where did it go? She had just put it right there. Then she saw it, sitting at the edge of the clearing. A small creature, about the size of a dog, 6 legs, dark fur with glowing blue markings, crystalline eyes that caught the light. A Variks cub, and it was holding her wrench. Hana froze. Her brain screamed at her to run, but she knew that running would trigger a chase response. Variks were hunters. They chased. So she stayed very still. The cub watched her. Its markings pulsed slowly. Blue, then green, then purple. It tilted its head. The cub looked at the wrench, then at Hana, then back at the wrench. It seemed confused, like it did not understand what this metal thing was for. Hana took a slow breath. She extended her hand. Palm up, non-threatening. She made a soft clicking sound with her tongue. Not the same as Variks clicking, but close. The cub's markings flashed bright yellow. Surprise, curiosity? Hana had no idea. But the little predator stood up. It walked forward on its 6 legs. Each step was careful. Testing. It got close enough that Hana could see her reflection in its crystal eyes. Then it dropped the wrench into her hand. Hana laughed. She could not help it. The sound surprised her. The cub jumped back. Its markings turned orange. But it did not run. It just watched her with those strange eyes. Hana looked at the wrench, then at the cub. She had a crazy thought. What if this little creature was not trying to steal? What if it was trying to help? She turned back to her work. Picked up another tool. The cub crept closer. Hana pretended not to notice. She talked to herself like always, explaining what she was doing. The cub sat down a meter away. It watched everything. When Hana reached for a screwdriver, the cub's eyes followed her hand. When she tested a circuit, the cub's head tilted. Hours passed. The cub never left. It just sat there, watching, learning. When the sun started to set, Hana packed up her tools. The cub stood up too. It looked at her, waiting. Hana smiled. She remembered her old cat from childhood. Same curious look, same patient waiting. She pulled out a ration bar from her pack, broke off a small piece, offered it to the cub. The little predator sniffed it, then very gently took it with its teeth. It chewed carefully. Its markings pulsed bright green. Pleasure, definitely pleasure. Hana broke off another piece for herself. They ate together in the fading light. That night, Hana sat in the cabin door, not hiding inside. The cub curled up a few meters away. Its body glowed softly in the dark. Blue markings pulsed in a slow rhythm, like breathing, like a heartbeat. The jungle sound seemed less scary now, less lonely. She thought about her cat again. It had been orange and white, always getting into trouble, always curious. She looked at the cub. It needed a name, something simple, something that made her smile. She thought of comfort food, of home, miso, like the soup her mother made. Yes, that fit, miso, the name of a predator cub that stole wrenches and watched humans work. Hana closed her eyes. Tomorrow she would continue the repairs. Tomorrow she would try to teach this strange little creature more. But tonight, for the first time since the crash, she felt something other than fear. She felt hope. The galaxy thought Variks were just killers. Smart killers, but killers. They had never tried to talk to one, never tried to teach one, never offered one food and friendship. Hana smiled in the dark. Maybe humans were different that way. Maybe humans saw possibilities where others saw only danger. Maybe that was their gift. Or their curse. She was not sure which yet. Miso's soft breathing filled the quiet night. Steady. Peaceful. Hana felt her own breathing match it. Two creatures from different worlds. Predator and prey. But maybe, just maybe, they could be something else. Something new. Something the galaxy had never seen before. She fell asleep with that thought, and for the first time since the crash, she did not have nightmares. Morning came with bright sunshine. Hana woke to find Miso sitting right outside the cabin door. The cub's markings were a soft blue color. Peaceful. Its crystal eyes watched her carefully. Waiting. Hana stretched and yawned. Her body still ached from the crash, but she felt better, less afraid. She looked at Miso and smiled. The cub's markings flashed yellow. That seemed to be its happy color. Hana made a mental note. Yellow meant good. Red meant danger. She had seen red last night when something moved in the jungle. She ate breakfast while Miso watched. Then she went to her workspace. The beacon parts were still spread out where she had left them. Miso followed close behind. The cub looked at each tool with interest. Hana had an idea. Maybe a crazy idea, but she wanted to try. She picked up a wrench, held it up so Miso could see. Then she said the word slowly. Wrench. She pointed at it, said it again, wrench. Miso tilted its head. The markings pulsed in a pattern. Purple, green, purple, like it was thinking. Hana put the wrench down, picked up a screwdriver. Screwdriver. She showed it to Miso, said the word 3 times. The cub leaned forward. Its nose almost touched the tool. It made a soft chirping sound. Not threatening, curious. She spent an hour like this, naming tools, showing them to Miso. The cub never got bored. It watched everything with complete focus. Those crystal eyes tracked each movement, each word. Hana wondered how much it understood. How much could it learn? Then she tested it. She put 3 tools on the ground, wrench, screwdriver, pliers. She pointed at the wrench. Wrench, can you get the wrench? She did not expect anything. This was just play. Just a way to pass time while working. Miso looked at the tools, looked at Hana, then walked over and picked up the wrench with its mouth. Brought it to her, dropped it at her feet. The markings flashed bright yellow, proud. Hana stared. Her heart raced. That was not luck. That was understanding. She tried again. Screwdriver. Miso brought the screwdriver. Pliers. Miso brought the pliers. Each time the cub got it right. Each time those markings flashed yellow, she sat back on her heels. This changed everything. Variks were supposed to be just animals. Smart animals, yes. Pack hunters with good instincts. But this was different. This was learning. This was communication. She had taught a predator cub to understand human words. In one morning, the rest of the day passed quickly. Hana worked on the beacon. Miso stayed close. When Hana needed a tool, she would ask for it. And Miso would bring it. Sometimes the cub got confused. Sometimes it brought the wrong thing. But it always tried. Always wanted to help. Around noon, Hana hit a problem. She needed to hold a metal panel steady while tightening bolts on the other side. But she only had 2 hands. She tried using rocks to prop it up. The panel kept falling. She swore under her breath. Miso made a questioning chirp. The markings pulsed orange. That seemed to mean confused or concerned. Hana sighed. She looked at the cub. It was small, but it had 6 legs. Strong legs. Could it help? Really help? She called Miso over. Showed the cub where to place its front paws. Here. Push here. Gentle. She demonstrated by pressing on the panel herself. Then she stepped back. Miso stepped forward. Put its paws exactly where Hana had shown. Pushed. The panel stayed steady. Hana grabbed her wrench. Started tightening the bolts. Miso held the panel perfectly still. Its markings were pure concentration. Purple and blue mixed together. The cub did not move until Hana finished. Then it stepped back. The markings exploded into yellow, so bright they almost hurt to look at. Hana laughed. Good job, Miso, good job. She reached out slowly. Touched the cub's head. Miso leaned into the touch. Made a sound like a purr. A 6-legged predator was purring at her touch. The universe was strange. They worked together all afternoon. Hana discovered that Miso could understand simple commands. Hold this. Bring that. Push here. The cub learned fast. Too fast. This was not normal animal behavior. This was intelligence. Real intelligence. The kind that made her wonder what else Variks could do if someone just took the time to teach them. When evening came, Miso disappeared into the jungle. Hana worried. Had she done something wrong? Had the cub gotten bored? She waited by the cabin door. Watched the trees. The jungle was getting dark. The glowing plants started their nightly show. Then Miso came back. Dragging something. It was an animal. Already dead. Some kind of lizard-rabbit thing with too many legs. Miso dropped it at Hana's feet. Looked up at her. The markings pulsed. Yellow, green, yellow. Hana understood. This was a gift. A share of the hunt. Miso was treating her like pack. Like family. Her throat felt tight. She had never hunted anything in her life. The idea of eating that creature made her stomach turn. But this was important. This was trust. She pulled out a ration bar. Broke it in half. Offered half to Miso. The cub sniffed it. Then very carefully took it. They ate together. Miso with its fresh kill. Hana with her processed food. 2 different creatures sharing a meal. Building something new. Night fell completely. Hana sat outside the cabin. Miso curled up against her leg. The cub's body was warm. The soft glow of its markings made gentle light. Hana could feel its breathing. Slow and steady. Peaceful. Then she heard it. Clicking. From the jungle. Multiple sources. Moving closer. Miso's head lifted. The markings turned red instantly. The cub stood up. Positioned itself between Hana and the sound. It looked bigger somehow. More dangerous adult Variks had to be. Coming to investigate. Or maybe coming for Miso or for her. Hana's hand went to the plasma cutter. She stood up slowly. Miso did not move. Just stood there. Guard position ready. The clicking got closer. Hana could see movement in the shadows. Big shapes. Multiple eyes reflecting light. Her mouth went dry. Miso made a sound. Not a click. Something else. A warning growl mixed with complex chirps. The markings flashed patterns, red, orange, red. The clicking stopped. The shapes in the jungle did not come closer. They just waited, watching, testing. Miso held its ground, small but fierce. Defending its human. The standoff lasted forever. Or maybe just minutes. Time felt broken. Then the shapes moved back. faded into the jungle. The clicking grew distant. Miso's markings slowly changed from red to orange to yellow. Relief. The cub turned and looked up at Hana. Those crystal eyes seemed to ask a question. Are you okay? Hana knelt down, hugged the small predator. Miso's body was shaking. From fear or adrenaline, she could not tell. Maybe both. She held the cub close. Thank you. Thank you for protecting me. They stayed like that for a long time. Human and Varix, two beings who should have been enemies. Two beings who had chosen something different. Something impossible. Later, inside the cabin, Miso curled up against Hana's side. The cub's breathing slowly steadied. Hana stroked its fur gently. She thought about the day, about teaching and learning, about working together, about trust earned and given freely. The galaxy was full of rules about dangerous species, about keeping distance, about not interfering. But those rules had never considered one simple thing. What if dangerous species could be friends? What if they just needed someone to try? Hana closed her eyes. Tomorrow she would continue the repairs. Tomorrow they would work together again. But tonight she was safe, protected by a creature that should have killed her, loved by a predator that should have seen her as prey. Maybe humans were crazy. Maybe they made friends too easily. Maybe they trusted too quickly. But right now, with Miso's warm body pressed against hers, Hana thought maybe that was not such a bad thing after all. The rescue ship came at dawn. Hana heard it before she saw it. The sound of engines cutting through the jungle morning. She stood up quickly. Miso jumped to its feet beside her. The pack stirred. All eyes turned toward the sky. The ship descended slowly. Careful. Professional. Hana could see weapon systems tracking. Scanning. They had detected the Varix, multiple life signs. Dangerous predators surrounding a human survivor. The ship's approach became more cautious. Through the viewports, Hana saw faces. Shocked faces. The crew was staring down at an impossible scene. A human standing calmly. A Varix cub at her side. A pack of adults in a protective circle around them both. No one was attacking. No one looked afraid. The ship's speaker crackled. This is Captain Taman of the Galactic Rescue Service. We are here to extract you. Please move away from the hostile wildlife. We will provide covering fire. Hana grabbed her communicator. No, do not fire. They are not hostile. I repeat, do not fire. She could hear the confusion in the response. Not hostile? These are Varix, apex predators. Multiple adults. You need immediate extraction, trust me. Lower your weapons and land. But move slowly. Let them see you mean no harm. There was a long pause. Then the captain's voice came back. Sounding tired. You are asking us to land unarmed in the middle of a Varix pack? Yes, that is exactly what I'm asking. Another pause. The ship's weapon systems powered down slowly, deliberately. The Varix watched. Their markings shifted. Red fading to orange. Orange to blue. Recognizing non-aggression. The ship touched down at the edge of the clearing. The ramp extended. Captain Taman came down first. He wore full armor but carried no visible weapon. Smart man. Behind him came 3 crew members, and a woman in scientist clothes. She held a recording device. Her eyes were already wide with amazement. The Varix pack tensed. The Alpha stood, moved to the front. Its markings pulsed warning orange. Miso chirped. A calming sound. The Alpha looked down at the cub, then back at the humans waiting, assessing. Captain Taman stopped 3 meters away. His eyes moved from Hana to Miso to the pack. Back to Hana. Engineer Hana. Are you injured? Harmed in any way? She shook her head. No, I am fine. Better than fine, actually. The captain looked at Miso. The cub met his gaze. Markings pulsed curious yellow. That is a Varix cub, yes, it is. And it is standing next to you like a pet. Miso is not a pet. Miso is my partner. My friend the scientist woman pushed forward. Excuse me. I am Dr. Sujin, xenobiologist. May I observe? Hana nodded, of course. But please move slowly. They are protective. Dr. Sujin approached with careful steps. Her recorder captured everything. The pack, Miso, the workspace with tools scattered around. She knelt down. Not directly facing Miso, non-threatening posture, remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. How did this happen? Hana explained. The crash. The first meeting. Teaching Miso words. Working together. The pack's acceptance. Dr. Sujin's hand shook as she recorded. This changes everything. Everything we know about Varric's intelligence, about pack behavior, about interspecies bonding. Captain Taman cleared his throat. We need to extract you. Protocol requires immediate medical evaluation and debriefing. Hana looked at Miso. The cub looked back. Those crystallized, trusting, complete faith. She turned to the captain. I will come. But Miso comes with me. The captain's expression hardened. That is not possible. Varrics are classified as dangerous wildlife. Restricted species. We cannot bring one aboard a Federation vessel. Hana crossed her arms. Then I am not leaving. The standoff lasted seconds. Then Miso chirped. A distressed sound. The markings flickered rapidly. Yellow to orange to blue, confused, scared. The cub moved closer to Hana, pressed against her leg. The pack stirred. Their markings turned orange. Warning. Dr. Sujin stood up slowly. Captain, look at them. The cub is bonded. Deeply bonded. Separation would cause severe distress, maybe trauma. And the pack clearly views the engineer as under their protection. If we try to take her by force, they will attack. Captain Taman studied the situation. Years of military training versus an impossible reality. He looked at Hana. You are willing to risk your career over a predator cub? Hana did not hesitate. Yes, Miso saved my life, protected me, worked with me. I will not abandon that. I will not abandon her. The captain sighed. Very well, but you will accept full responsibility. All protocols regarding the creature fall on you. Hana nodded. Understood, thank you. She knelt down, hugged Miso, whispered, You are coming with me. We stay together. Miso's markings blazed bright yellow. Relief. Joy. The cub licked Hana's face. A very unpredator-like gesture. Captain Taman watched. Shook his head. I have been doing this job for 20 years. I have seen many strange things, but this is something new. The next problem was the pack. How would they react to Miso leaving? Hana stood, walked toward the Alpha. Captain Taman moved to stop her, but Dr. Sujin grabbed his arm. Wait, let her try. She has gotten this far. Hana stopped a meter from the Alpha. The massive predator watched her. Markings neutral blue-green. She bowed her head. Respectful. Then pointed to herself. To Miso, to the ship. She hoped the gesture was clear. We are leaving together. The Alpha clicked. A long, complex pattern. Miso chirped back. Equally complex. A conversation. Communication beyond anything science said was possible. The Alpha stepped forward, touched its nose to Miso's head, then to Hana's hand. Gentle, deliberate. The markings pulsed soft green. Hana understood. Permission granted. Blessing given. She bowed again. Thank you. The Alpha turned. Clicked to the pack. They melted into the jungle. Silent as shadows. Only the Alpha remained for a moment. It looked at Miso. A long look. Then it too disappeared. Dr. Sujin was crying. Actually crying. That was goodbye. That was family saying farewell. This is not just intelligence. This is sapience. Near sapience at minimum. Captain, do you understand what we just witnessed? Captain Taman nodded slowly. I understand that I will be writing the strangest report of my career. He looked at Hana. Come. Let us get you both aboard before something else impossible happens. They walked to the ship. Miso stayed close to Hana's side. The cub's markings flickered nervously. So many new things. New smells. New sounds. The ship was huge and metal and nothing like the jungle, but Hana was there. That made it okay. The crew watched them board. Watched a human walk side by side with a predator. Watched the predator look around with obvious curiosity rather than aggression. One crew member whispered, Is that really a Varrix? Dr. Sujin answered, Yes, and everything we thought we knew about them is wrong. Inside the ship, Miso explored carefully. Touched walls with gentle paws. Sniffed equipment. The crew gave them space. Wide eyes following every movement. Hana showed Miso where they would stay. A small cabin, simple, but together. The ship lifted off. Through the window, Hana saw the jungle shrink below. Saw the crash site become a small scar in the purple canopy. Saw Cathara 7 become a sphere. Then a point, then gone. She was leaving. Going home. And Miso was coming with her. Captain Taman came to check on them. Found Hana sitting on the bunk. Miso curled in her lap. The cub's markings were soft blue, content. The captain stared. It purrs, Hana smiled. Yes, when she is happy. And right now she is happy. The captain shook his head again. The Federation Council is going to have many questions. Many questions. What should I tell them? Hana stroked Miso's fur. Tell them the truth. Tell them that humans found an intelligent being alone in the jungle, and humans did what humans do. We made a friend. Captain Taman smiled despite himself. That simple? That simple. Because to humans it really is that simple. Intelligence deserves respect. Loneliness deserves friendship. And no one gets left behind. Not ever. He left them alone. Miso looked up at Hana, made a questioning chirp. Hana understood. Where are we going? What happens next? She hugged the small predator close. We are going home. And everything will be okay. I promise. Miso's markings pulsed yellow. Trust, complete trust. The cub closed its eyes, relaxed into sleep. Hana held her friend, her partner, her family. The galaxy had rules about species and classifications and proper protocols. But humans had something stronger. Humans had hearts, and hearts did not care about rules. The ship jumped to hyperspace. Stars stretched. Reality bent. They were going home. Together. And nothing would ever be the same. 12 days. That was how long it took. 12 days of careful work, of testing circuits and replacing parts, of teaching Miso new words and watching the cub learn faster than should be possible. 12 days of growing friendship in a place meant to be deadly. Now Hana held the emergency beacon in her hands. Every wire connected, every circuit tested. The power core glowed steady green, ready. She looked at Miso. The cub sat beside her, waiting, always waiting to see what would happen next. Hana pressed the activation button. The beacon hummed to life. Lights flickered. Then solid. A steady pulse began. Signal broadcasting. Help coming. She had done it. She was going to be rescued. She should have felt happy, relieved. Instead, she felt sad. Rescue meant leaving. Leaving meant saying goodbye to Miso. The thought made her chest hurt. When had this small predator become so important? When had she started thinking of it as family? Miso chirped. The markings flashed yellow. The cub did not understand the beacon, did not know what it meant. Hana picked up Miso, held the small body close. The cub purred against her chest. Crystal eyes looked up at her with complete trust. What am I going to do? She whispered the words into Miso's fur. The cub could not answer, could not understand the problem. But it nuzzled closer, offering comfort in its own way. The jungle changed that afternoon. Hana noticed it first. The normal sounds stopped. The birds went quiet. Even the insects seemed to hold their breath. Miso's head lifted. The markings flickered. Blue, purple, orange, uncertain. Then she heard it. Clicking. Multiple sources. Moving through the jungle. Coming closer. Not hiding this time. Not watching from shadows. Coming directly toward the camp. Miso stood up. The fur on its back rose. Markings turned orange. Warning. Hana counted the clicks. At least 6 different patterns. 6 adult Variks, maybe more. They had been drawn by the beacon's signal. Electronic signals were not natural. They attracted attention. She grabbed her plasma cutter. Not that it would help against 6 apex predators. But it made her feel slightly less helpless. The Variks emerged from the trees. They moved like water, smooth and silent except for the clicking. Each one was massive, 3 times Miso's size, all muscle and claws and teeth. Their markings were dark red, aggressive, territorial, their crystal eyes fixed on Hana. Miso stepped forward, placed itself between Hana and the pack. The cub looked so small, so young, but it did not back down. Its markings flashed rapid patterns, red, yellow, blue, red again. It was trying to communicate, trying to explain something to the adults. The largest Variks moved closer. The alpha had to be. Its markings were the darkest red, almost black. It clicked at Miso, a harsh sound, demanding. Miso chirped back, did not move. The alpha's eyes shifted to Hana. She saw hunger there, recognition of prey. This was it. This was how she would die. Eaten by the pack while Miso watched. She wondered if the cub would understand, would know that she had tried, had cared. The Alpha took another step. Miso growled. A sound Hana had never heard before. Pure challenge. The Alpha stopped, tilted its head, clicked in a questioning pattern. Miso chirped back, then did something strange. The cub walked to Hana's workspace, picked up the wrench, carried it to the Alpha, dropped it at the big predator's feet. The Alpha looked at the wrench, looked at Miso, then at Hana. The markings flickered. Red to orange, orange to purple, confusion. Miso picked up the wrench again, brought it to Hana. Hana understood. Miso was showing the Alpha what they did together, was demonstrating cooperation. She took the wrench, held it up, pretended to work on the beacon. Miso stood beside her, perfectly positioned like she had taught. The cub's markings flashed yellow, happy, proud. Look, we work together. We are team. The pack watched. Every adult went still. Their markings began to change. From red to orange, from orange to purple. Processing, thinking. The Alpha stepped closer, not aggressive now, curious. It reached out with one massive paw, touched the wrench, touched the beacon, looked at Miso with new understanding. Miso chirped eagerly, ran to get a screwdriver, brought it to Hana. She took it, named it. Screwdriver. Miso chirped again. The sound had rhythm, like it was trying to copy the word. The Alpha's markings shifted again. Red completely gone now, replaced by blue-green, neutral, thinking. Minutes passed. The Alpha watched Miso, watched Hana. The other pack members formed a loose circle around the camp, not threatening anymore, just observing. Finally, the Alpha made a decision. Its markings pulsed once. Bright green. Then it turned and walked to the edge of the clearing. Lay down, watching but not attacking. The other Variks did the same. They spread out around the camp. A guard circle. Hana's legs went weak. She sat down hard. Miso came to her immediately, pressed against her side, markings bright yellow. Victory. She had just been accepted by a Variks pack. Impossible, completely impossible, but it had happened. Miso had convinced the pack that she was worth protecting. That cooperation was possible, that humans could be partners instead of prey. The day passed in surreal peace. The pack stayed, watching. Hana went about her normal activities, checked the beacon, organized her supplies. Miso stayed close. The cub seemed proud, kept glancing at the Alpha, seeking approval maybe, or just happy that its two worlds had not collided violently. At sunset, the pack began to hunt. They moved into the jungle in coordinated silence, beautiful and terrifying. Only the Alpha remained. It watched Hana, she watched it back. Slowly, carefully, she pulled out a ration bar, broke off a piece, extended her hand. The Alpha's markings flickered, purple, blue, uncertain. It looked at Miso. The cub chirped encouragingly. The Alpha moved forward, each step deliberate. It took the food very gently, careful not to hurt with its massive jaws. Then it stepped back. The markings pulsed soft blue. Acceptance. Hana breathed out slowly. She had just hand-fed an apex predator, had just created a bond with a creature that could tear her apart without effort. The universe was definitely strange, and humans were definitely crazy, but maybe crazy was exactly what the galaxy needed. That night, the pack returned from hunting. They brought food, offered shares to each other. The Alpha clicked at Miso. The cub picked up a piece of meat, brought it to Hana. She did not want it, could not imagine eating raw meat. But she understood the gesture. Respect, family. She took the meat, bowed her head in thanks. Miso's markings exploded into rainbow colors, pure joy. The cub had done it, had brought two worlds together, had made the impossible real. The pack settled around the camp for the night, a protective circle of deadly predators, and in the center a human and a cub, friends, partners, family. Hana looked at the stars through the purple canopy. Rescue ships would come soon. They would see this scene, would have to explain it, would have to accept that everything they knew about Variks was incomplete, because Hana had done something simple, something humans always did. She had treated an intelligent being with respect, had taught instead of feared, had offered friendship instead of violence, and the galaxy would never be the same. Miso curled against her. The cub's breathing was slow and steady, peaceful. Around them, the pack's soft, glowing markings created a constellation of lights. Beautiful, Safe. Impossible. Hana smiled in the darkness. Let them come. Let the rescue ships arrive. She would not leave Miso behind. Would not abandon the first Varix to ever learn human words, to ever choose cooperation over instinct. That decision might complicate things, might break protocols, but it was the right choice. The human choice, and if the galaxy did not like it, well, they could deal with it, because humans did not abandon their friends. Not ever, not for any reason. That was their gift to the universe. Stubborn loyalty even when it made no sense. She closed her eyes and let sleep take her. Tomorrow would bring new challenges. But tonight, surrounded by predators who had chosen not to kill, protected by a cub who had changed everything, Hana felt more at peace than she had in years. The Federation Council chambers were massive, stone and metal mixed with holographic displays. Representatives from 100 worlds sat in curved rows. All eyes focused on one thing, a human woman standing calmly in the center, and beside her, a Varix cub wearing a translator collar. Hana had been on the station for 3 days. 3 days of medical tests, questions, more questions, scientists studying Miso with amazement, bureaucrats arguing about protocols. Everyone had an opinion. No one could agree. Miso sat quietly. The translator collar around the cub's neck was Dr. Sujin's invention. It read the color patterns and translated them into simple concepts. Happy, scared, curious, confused. Not perfect, but better than nothing. The council leader spoke. Engineer Hana, you have created an unprecedented situation. A Varix has been removed from its natural habitat, brought to a Federation station. You claim this creature is intelligent, capable of learning, deserving of protection. Hana nodded. Yes, that is exactly what I claim. Because it is true. Miso is intelligent. Miso learns, understands, communicates. Everything I have said can be verified. Dr. Sujin has documented it all. Another counselor spoke. A tall being with blue skin. But Varix are predators, dangerous. What happens when this cub grows? When hunting instincts take over? You could be killed. Others could be harmed. Hana looked at Miso. The cub looked back. Markings pulsed steady blue, calm. She turned to the council. What happens is what always happens with intelligent beings. Miso will make choices. We'll learn right from wrong. We'll choose cooperation over violence. Because that is what intelligent beings do when given the chance. A third counselor leaned forward. You assume too much. Predatory instinct cannot be trained away, cannot be ignored. This creature's nature is to hunt, to kill. Hana smiled. I am standing in a room with 100 different species. Half of you evolved from predators, the other half from prey. Yet here we all are, talking, cooperating, making laws together. Silence. The council members looked at each other. The logic was simple, obvious, yet somehow they had missed it. Dr. Sujin stepped forward. May I speak? The council leader nodded. Proceed. Dr. Sujin activated her display. Data filled the air. Charts and videos. My research over the past 3 days has been remarkable. This Varix cub demonstrates problem-solving abilities equal to a sapient child. Tool use, pattern recognition, emotional bonding, language comprehension. Everything points to near-sapient intelligence. She played a video. Miso solving a puzzle meant for intelligent species. The cub worked through it methodically, thinking, learning from mistakes, succeeding. The council watched in silence. We have underestimated this species, drastically underestimated them. Because we never tried to communicate, never offered cooperation. We only saw predators. We never looked for people. The council leader studied the data. This changes the classification of Varix, changes our entire approach to this species. Dr. Sujin nodded. Yes, it does. And it was a human who discovered this. A human who took the time to treat a dangerous predator with kindness and respect. That tells us something too. What does it tell us? The doctor smiled. That humans have a gift, a unique perspective. They see potential where others see only danger. They offer friendship where others offer only fear. The galaxy needs more of that, not less. The council debated for hours. Hana sat on the floor. Miso curled against her side. The translator collar hummed softly, translating the cub's feelings. Content, safe, trusting. Those simple words meant everything. Finally, the council leader spoke again. We have reached a decision. Engineer Hana, you may keep custody of the Varix designated as Miso. However, there are conditions. You must participate in ongoing research, regular medical checkups for the creature, behavioral monitoring, and immediate reporting if aggression develops. Hana stood, bowed. I accept all conditions. Thank you. The council leader's expression softened. You have done something remarkable, something that will change how we understand an entire species. That deserves recognition. You will receive a research grant and a new assignment, building bridges between humans and Varix. Hana left the chambers with Miso trotting beside her. In the hallway, Captain Taman waited. Congratulations, you won. She smiled. We won, all of us, because now the galaxy knows. Intelligence is not limited to familiar forms. Friendship is not limited to similar species. And kindness is never wasted. The weeks that followed were busy. Hana returned to work. But now she worked at a shipyard near the station, engineering, her specialty. Miso came to work every day. The cub wore the translator collar, learned new words, helped with simple tasks. The other engineers were scared at first. A predator in the workplace? Dangerous, crazy, but they watched, saw Miso hand Hana tools, saw the cub solve problems, saw the gentle way it interacted with everyone. Fear turned to curiosity. Curiosity turned to acceptance. One engineer, an older man named Daehyun, started bringing treats. Special food Miso liked. The cub's markings would flash happy yellow. Daehyun would laugh. It likes sweet things, just like my grandchildren. Others joined in, teaching Miso games. Showing the cub pictures of their own families, Miso became the shipyard mascot, the little predator that fetched tools and made people smile. Workers started bringing problems to Hana's station, not just for her expertise, but to see Miso, to interact with proof that the universe was stranger and more wonderful than they had imagined. Dr. Sujin visited often, documented everything. Her research papers were changing xenobiology, challenging old assumptions, opening new possibilities. She told Hana, you have started something. Other humans are asking about Varix now, asking if more partnerships are possible. 6 months later, Hana returned to Cathara 7, a research expedition. Scientists and engineers, camera crews. Everyone wanted to see the planet where it all began. Miso came too. The cub was bigger now, almost adult size, but still gentle. Still curious, they landed in the same clearing. The crash site was overgrown, nature reclaiming metal. But the jungle remembered. Within hours, the pack appeared. The alpha came forward, looked at Miso, at Hana. The markings pulsed, blue, green, recognition, welcome. Miso chirped excitedly. Ran to the alpha. The two Varix touched noses. Shared sense. The pack surrounded them. Not threatening, welcoming. Family reunited. Hana watched with tears in her eyes. Miso belonged to two worlds now. Could bridge both. That evening, something amazing happened. Miso took tools to the other cubs in the pack. Showed them how to hold things. How to use them. The young Varix watched with intense focus. Tried to copy. Some succeeded. Others struggled. But all tried. Learning from one who had learned from a human, Dr. Sujin recorded everything. This is cultural exchange. True cultural exchange between species. This has never happened before, never. Hana smiled. Maybe it just needed someone willing to try. Someone willing to see possibilities instead of problems. They stayed for a week. Teaching. Learning. Building trust between humans and Varix. When they left, 3 young researchers stayed behind, volunteers. They would live near the pack, study them, work with them, learn from them. The beginning of something new. Back at the station, Hana returned to her quarters. Miso followed. The cub was tired. Growing took energy. They sat together by the window, looked out at the stars. Countless worlds, countless possibilities. Captain Taman's report had become famous, distributed throughout the Federation. The conclusion resonated with everyone. Humanity's greatest gift is not their technology, not their adaptability. It is their stubborn belief that friendship is possible with anyone. That intelligence deserves respect, that no one should be alone. Other partnerships formed, slowly, carefully, humans and Varix learning together. working together, proving that predator and prey could be friends, that evolution did not determine destiny. That choice mattered more than instinct. Hana looked at Miso. The cub had grown so much. Was almost fully adult now, but still slept curled against Hana's side. Still brought her tools without being asked. Still made those happy chirping sounds when given treats. Still trusted completely. She remembered that first day. The wrench held in small jaws. Crystal eyes full of curiosity. The choice to offer kindness instead of fear. One moment. One decision. And everything changed. That was the human way. Finding family in unexpected places. Building bridges across impossible distances. Refusing to accept that anyone was beyond understanding. Beyond friendship. Beyond love. The galaxy was vast. Full of different species. Different cultures. Different ways of thinking. But humans had shown something important. Something the Federation needed to remember. At the core, intelligence was intelligence. Loneliness was loneliness. And kindness was a universal language. Miso's breathing slowed. Sleep taking over. The translator caller hummed one last time. Content. Safe. Home. Hana smiled. Stroked the cub's fur gently. Yes. Home. We are home. Together. She thought about the future. About more partnerships. More friendships. About a galaxy where species did not hide from each other. Did not fear each other. Where cooperation replaced suspicion. Where understanding replaced prejudice. It would take time. Years, maybe generations. But it would happen. Because humans would keep trying. Keep reaching out. Keep offering friendship to anyone willing to accept it. That was their nature. Their gift. Their curse and their blessing.